Hey guys, Discord Magic here, and buckle up for this one and hold tight to your seat. Holy cow. Now, it's not like we didn't see this coming. Basically, Wizards just announced, and among everybody else, that there's going to be a Magic the Gathering MMO. Well, okay, there already is. A MMORPG. There's this game, maybe you've heard of it. It's called Magic the Gathering Online. Hey, by definition, it's an MMO. You can't say it's not. It is. People screw that up a lot. But anyway, they just announced that they're teaming up with Cryptic Studios to make some kind of Magic the Gathering MMO. So, a bunch of questions pop into people's heads. One is, how good is Cryptic Studios on a scale from, let's see. What was Sean Murray's company? What was the name of that? That would be the bottom. And then on the top would be like D3 Go, because they knocked, Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest out of the park. But that's also because they just basically reskinned Marvel Puzzle Quest, or whatever the hell it's called, and that one took off earlier, so there you go. But what it really comes down to is they know what they're doing. They made a game that doesn't suck. The end. I mean, look at some stuff made by, like, RPG Maker or some, like, old school games. Like, you guys saw, I was playing Exile 3 in the background of a bunch of games a while back, or a bunch of videos, and, like, the graphics look like complete crap because the game was made in, like, 93. But the storyline, the gameplay, the spell system, the experience, just the weapons, the lore, everything crushes every other RPG. God, I can't even frickin' talk today. I'm sick of doing different takes. We're gonna leave it in. Screw it. Screw it. We'll do it live. Screw it. So really, a game could look like crap and have just nothing to do with any known IP ever, and it doesn't matter. By the way, IP is intellectual property. Basically, it's like, oh, we're going to make a Harry Potter game. We're going to make a Lego game. You lease the intellectual property of the Lego brand and its characters to put in your Lego game. So that's what they did for Puzzle Quest. So they're like, D3 Go, here, make this. Boom, they made it. It was wildly successful. Oh, great, let's have a board meeting. Magic Digital next. Let's expand into other things because money. Also, notoriety, free marketing. I mean, if somebody gets into, like, Puzzle Quest, and then they're like, what's this Magic the Gathering thing? Then they jump over to the game. There you go. So you're collecting money to do free marketing. You're, like, getting paid to market. That's brilliant. So, I mean, you look at other IP deals, the first thing everybody thinks is Hollywood, and there was a rumor, well, not even a rumor, it was confirmed. They were trying to make a Magic the Gathering movie. It was in talks. Now, Wizards of the Coast had almost nothing to do with it. All they have to do is sign off on the director, the producer, and say, yeah, here, have the IP, we trust you. Boom, make the movie. Other than that, it's not like Mark Rosewater directing the damn movie, okay? It's completely shipped off, and all they do is collect the money for the royalties, and that's it. It's not even usually royalties, it's usually a flat amount. Depends on the contract, though. Hey, I think George Lucas said, if you let me direct Star Wars, I'll take a percentage and a lower flat fee, and that's why he's rich. So I know which deal I would take, but the reason that the Magic movie never got made is because Magic the Gathering as a brand, no matter how popular it is and how fanboy-ish the what do you call it, like the player base, the followers, the fans are, it's just not quite big enough. Now, here's an example of something that could not possibly go wrong, money-wise. It could go wrong. That is the example. Harry Potter 8, a straight sequel. We're not talking Fantastic Beasts, literally a Harry Potter sequel with Harry Potter in it, and like his kids going to Hogwarts or something. So that could be a 1 out of 10 on IMDb and probably still rake in 300 million. Like, that has the customer base, for lack of a better term. That has the fanboys, the followers, where they're going to see it no matter what. And I would say maybe Twilight had that. Not much else. I mean, the Resident Evil movies were, like, pretty good. House of the Dead, that was a joke. Like, you take House of the Dead, it's like, oh, cool, it was an arcade game. I played that when I was a kid. Wow, whatever. It's just like when they made, like, Battleship the movie. I don't remember what the name of the damn movie was. It's probably Battleship. I don't even know. Nobody's like, yes, Battleship. I have to see this movie because I love the game Battleship. You sunk my Battleship, D4. What's up? I mean, they could make Monopoly the movie, Candyland the movie. God, I hope I didn't just name 2 actual examples. Oh my God. Can you imagine? But they did make Clue the movie, and here's the counterexample, okay? Nobody's gonna rush out to be like, oh, cool, Clue, I played that as a kid and played that last week. I have to see the movie. Like, no, it's a board game. Like, calm the hell down. Why that movie was incredibly popular and made a ton of money is because it was an amazing movie. So let's take a counterexample. This is basically the Harry Potter sequel in real life, in my example. The World of Warcraft movie did pretty poorly in America, but made a ton of money over in China and really the rest of Asia, just because of the fanboyism over there. People are like, World of Warcraft movie, I've played it for 10 years, I'm seeing the movie, period. It's just, that's it. Don't care what anybody says. Oh, look, the reviews are negative. Don't care. I'm not going to not see a World of Warcraft movie after playing the game for 10 freaking years. Are you kidding me? So that's where it's like guaranteed money no matter how bad the movie was. And the movie was just kind of subpar. I mean, it wasn't a tragedy, but it was bad. So it kind of flopped in the US. It was kind of borderline, and then internationally it did really well. So it was right on the border of I don't care what the reviews say, I'm going to see it. It was barely qualifying as okay just based on the fact that it's World of Warcraft, people are going to see it. So do I think Magic the Gathering has the same pull? Hell no. I mean, they've made D&D movies and they were quite good. I mean, they were, low budget, but they were very good, I thought. Like Wrath of the Dragon God was exceptional. But it didn't have the customer base or the pull, and I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but I feel like the number of players and the passionateness of the players and the whole, historic customer base for Dungeons & Dragons would be bigger than Magic the Gathering. Not sure if that's true, that's just, I feel like that's it. So if they were going to make an MMO, they should probably make it about Dungeons & Dragons. Here's the funny thing, they did. Twice. Here's the even funnier thing. Cryptic Studios basically made the other one as far as I know. Now it's like, oh, you got this studio, that thing, this person bought them, they merged with them, they own them, they're the parent company, but they're separate. And then there was Westwood, then there was EA, but then EA took over Red Alert, and it's all a mess. It's a giant freaking tangled mess of crap. But basically, Perfect World Entertainment and Cryptic Studios are making the Magic the Gathering MMO that was just announced. And the funny thing is they're already calling it a AAA MMO, which I wouldn't even call Neverwinter that, and that's the other one that they made. So PWE made Neverwinter. I played the game for about 2 years. I am still one of the most famous and one of the richest players in the entire game. I just haven't touched it for like a long time. But yeah, I'm infamous because I won their national Photoshop contest, and I got a unique mount. Also, imagine this, I'm famous for taking the most overpowered, try-hard, rude douchebag guilds and just destroying them every single time, either socially in the chat, purposely, screwing with them, or just beating them in PvP. But would I consider that game AAA? Oh, hell no. I mean, I think even number-wise, it just isn't. I mean, it just isn't. There's no more to that. It isn't. They have, like, way less players than a real AAA MMO, which would be like World of Warcraft, okay? So since this is a tangled mess of crap and I've been researching it for like 15 minutes and now I just gave up, I'm just going to say Cryptic Studios made Neverwinter because I don't freaking know. I mean, the Wikipedia page both says they didn't and says they did make it. I don't know. It's probably like half their staff made it and then the artwork was from another. I don't freaking know. Like I said, tangled mess of nonsense. It always is, always will be. But that game was well designed, but I'd maybe consider it a AA game at best, and it's very procedural, very safe, very repetitive, not innovative in any way, shape, or form. It's just a classic cookie-cutter MMORPG. I mean, the only other more classic, more procedural one that I could say is Dungeons & Dragons Online. I know the irony is palpable considering Wizards owns that one too. Now, that game was made by, I don't know, Daybreak, Standing Stone. I don't even know which one's the actual, like, game production company, which one's not. Honestly, I don't care. Funny thing is I actually played that game for 2 years too. Once again, one of the most famous players in the game, not quite the richest. In that one, I never really focused on money. But I was famous for screwing with the top guilds who were being rude, not helping anybody, making the game crap for everybody else, refusing to raid with anybody but themselves, refusing to even talk to other people. And I'm like, hey, you stuck up, try-hard douchebags. I'm going to sneak onto your airship and use a non-logout hack and stay there for 3 days dancing just to piss you off. But yeah, very much hated in both of those two games because I just would not take crap from the rude players who had bad attitudes and ruined the game for everybody. Sound familiar? It's just my personality. I don't like rude people, I don't like miserable people, I don't like bad people, and I don't like bullies. The end. So DDO, pretty good game, but you know, it's like, oh, we came out with a module, you got to buy it, premium currency, freemium, yay. And it was originally $15 a month, and then it, I don't know, never was really that popular. And then they made more money freemium wise than they did any other way, which is kind of funny. By the way, in DDO, I'm the only person to ever nail the ice jump backwards, and it's one of the first videos on my channel. Like, no joke, even I couldn't repeat that video. I tried to make a sequel. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime achievement in a game. Anyway, back to Perfect World, though, because, you know, DDO, it was successful, it made money, it's popular, and it's still running. I think it's been running since, I think, 2006 or something like that. So, okay. You know, Hasbro/Wizards took the Dungeons & Dragons universe, licensed out basically everything in it, and it paid off and it worked. And then they did the same thing with D3 Go and Puzzle Quest. And now they're doing the same thing with a company they've worked with before, because Neverwinter is also based on Dungeons & Dragons, except unlike DDO, it doesn't use any of the gameplay mechanics whatsoever. I mean, you have like spell points, it doesn't even use a dice system, it's very MMO'd up. I mean, you can hit somebody for like thousands of damage, I think, so it's not at all D&D, but lore-wise and story-wise and character-wise and the races and the attacks, those are D&D. So they basically just took just the IP and that's it. Now with DDO, it is literally Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition online, tweaked a little tiny bit. So there's a hell of a difference there, but both succeeded, and that's kind of the point. So, Neverwinter, I'd say it's a good game, it's a fun game, it's a fair game. It is, you know, obviously freemium, but it's not bad. I think every time they come out with a new thing, you can just do it. You don't have to, like, buy expansions or anything, so that's pretty cool. I personally currently own about, I think, 30 million platinum in that game, so, woo, hello. If you added up the items, like if you literally just took my whole account and sold it on the auction house, I don't even know. It's off the charts. So the good news about that, the whole backstory that should be very encouraging to you, is Cryptic Studios apparently knows how to make a game. They didn't completely screw up Neverwinter. It wasn't a great game, but it was a pretty good game. It was very playable, and it has enough staying power that it's still around. So what we can expect from them based on the past would be definitely something that doesn't resemble Magic at all, except in storyline and characters. We're probably all going to be Planeswalkers. Mana is, the word is going to be used, I guess. I have a feeling it won't involve cards at all because, I mean, duh, Puzzle Quest, they already did that. Puzzle Quest is basically Magic the Gathering. It's very, very, very close to the game. So I think it's just going to be whatever they were working on anyway with blank white mannequin 3D models, and then they were just shopping around, you know, mechanics and what to name it. So they're just going to insert the Magic the Gathering IP into it, and that's as far as it's going to go. That's my best estimation, and I think that's pretty darn likely to happen. Now here's the funny thing. According to the announcements, it's already going to be for console and PC. Now it took them quite a while to come out with Neverwinter on a console, and the launch was disastrous. In fact, honestly, the PC launch of Neverwinter was disastrous. That game was glitchy as hell. They did not release that when it was done. They just kind of called it a beta as an excuse for it to completely suck, and then collected money as if the game launched. Well, welcome to modern game development. So they also made City of Heroes and City of Villains, which I remember hearing some pretty bad stuff about that, unfortunately. Like, it was really hyped up, and then I remember people saying it sucked, and I think it had a really rough launch. I'm not sure if that was even the one that, like, relaunched or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I just don't remember hearing good things about it. I didn't play it personally. Well, that was 2002. So, they also made Champions Online. I don't know anything about it. My friend told me it was popular. So, all right. They made Star Trek Online. Never was amazingly popular, but other people told me it was quite good. Like, Perfect World was pushing it like crazy to the Neverwinter players because, you know, they had their little version of Steam, because who the hell doesn't at this point? And it was very heavily counter-marketed or cross-marketed, whatever you call it. But yeah, other people in Neverwinter, like in my guild, told me that the game was good. So, all right. So they're, what, three for four, I guess? I don't know. They made other stuff that I heard succeeded. So overall, it would seem that they know what they're doing. So that's good, but still, I mean, I gotta tell you, Neverwinter was a very cookie-cutter, safe, just dumb, generic, vanilla MMORPG. Nothing wrong with that. It's just other games were better. So I would say anticipating the game, that's what you should look forward to. Something where it's like, oh, look, Nis is in the game. Oh, look, we're planeswalkers. Oh, look, they use the word mana. And that's it. Other than that, it's just an MMO. You know, it's not going to be like, you know, Pokemon Go, where it very closely resembles Pokemon, but it's, you know, different on purpose. But it'll be very, very, very familiar, and you'll be like battling with cards and stuff. I don't see that happening, but all their games are freemium pretty much at this point. So maybe they will have booster packs and cards, and the cards will indicate your abilities you can use, or you can equip the cards or something. I wouldn't be surprised if it included cards, but I don't think it's going to be anything like build a deck and battle somebody. There's like almost no way. Now that said, if they did do that, I think that would be really cool, because there have been MMOs like that, but not many, and they kind of were pretty popular with a small hardcore group. Well, and then there's like Hearthstone and MTGO, I mean, duh. But if they did something that's like a super updated version of Shalendar, yeah, that actually would be pretty cool, actually. I don't know. So the one ray of hope in this not being super vanilla, just a clone of every MMO ever, amalgamated together and averaged, basically, is that the Cryptic Studios CEO said everything from the graphics to the gameplay is being targeted for a truly unique AAA game. Now, that sounds like a stupid marketing buzzword to me, but, well, let's just say if he meant it very literally, that means, oh, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. So maybe it would include, like, some walk-around version of MTGO, basically, kind of. So overall, I'm not surprised at all that they went with Cryptic, because duh, they worked with them before on Neverwinter. I mean, well, not Wizards of the Coast, yes. Magic the Gathering, no. And I cannot stress enough that, like, Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, those people don't even, like, talk. Like, I don't think they're even in the same building. They don't borrow each other's IP for who the hell knows what reason. Honestly, the Wizard staff has complained about that before. They have complained about it in interviews. They sounded kind of pissed off, where somebody said, hey, what are the chances we'll see a Beholder in Magic, or whatever they said, or they mentioned something from D&D, or like some kind of Dungeons and Dragons based set, and they said, no way in hell, never gonna happen, because they, like, quote, like to hold their IP really tightly, or they don't like to share. They, like, had some sarcastic comment like that. So just because they're all one big Wizards of the Coast Hasbro family doesn't mean that they have anything to do with each other. So I guess you couldn't really say that Magic the Gathering staff worked with Cryptic before, because it was the Dungeons and Dragons people working with them, but the Wizards of the Coast absolute higher-ups are technically in charge of both. So, you know, I think that's, they were the ones who have to sign off on it at the end of the day, or maybe Hasbro does, I don't know. And they worked with them before, so, but not literally the Magic the Gathering staff. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that, well, just the quality of people and the quality of professionalism and the quality of even knowing how to do your job on a basic level that goes on at the Magic the Gathering staff level, like, keep that in mind. I'm not saying that they'll be hard to work with or virtually impossible and they're all completely incompetent, but actually that is exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying it right now. So I think Cryptic's really got their work cut out for them. It's not going to be like working with the Dungeons and Dragons staff, who I've heard nothing but good things about. Like, if I worked at Cryptic and I had to work with Aaron Forsyth or Trick Jarrett, I'd rather kill myself. So that might go well, but honestly, they're going to be working more with the lore and the art staff than the management and executive producers and R&D, because why would they? So overall, all things considered, with all these roadblocks and speed bumps that are, you know, potentially going to derail the project and make the game terrible, I think it's not that much. I think it's overwhelmingly a positive outlook on the game, mostly just solely because of Cryptic. You know, it's like, Cryptic knows what they're doing. They made MMOs before. They've been doing this for a while, and they will not let the Magic staff screw it up. And the Magic staff, from what they said about the movie, their involvement level in the movie when it came to a big, you know, let's lease out our IP, they were totally hands-off and had almost nothing to do with it. And I believe they made similar statements about D3 Go for Puzzle Quest. So that is really good. That is the takeaway from all this, is I think the game will be good and very playable because Wizards of the Coast is barely involved. There's just no polite way to say it. You guys know it's true. I mean, you guys have seen the history of how they've managed Magic the Gathering. It ain't great. But the big thing to brace yourself for is this is not going to be Shalendar. I just don't think so. This is going to be an MMO with a bunch of MTG stuff pasted in, and that's it. Because Neverwinter was about as far away from Dungeons and Dragons as you can get. It literally just used the races, a couple spells, maybe some weapons, and some of the locations. That's it. The gameplay had nothing to do with Dungeons & Dragons, and I mean nothing, not a damn resemblance whatsoever. It wasn't turn-based. I mean, it couldn't be further away. It was closer to like Silk Road Online. So if you're looking for something that resembles the card game that you play, it won't. It just won't. I just don't see that happening. They already made that. It's called Puzzle Quest. So that's the one thing to prepare yourself for. That's the one takeaway that I would give. But other than that, it's probably as a game, as an MMORPG, if you're an MMORPG fan, it probably won't be bad. So that's my official prediction. Set it in stone. That's what it is. I wish I had more details. I mean, obviously, considering I've played almost every Wizards of the Coast IP game ever made, I'm probably the best source on this story at this point, you know, from personal experience. But as far as details, we have none. I read like 5 press releases, or articles written about the press release. No details. Like, they're trying to make it AAA. Here's the name of the company, and it's going to work on consoles. Like, that's all we know right now, unless I'm missing something. So, obviously, if you have any kind of other information, put that down in the comment section, because that'll be very, very much appreciated. I mean, I guess the only other slight detail I can add is that they kind of hinted at the fact that it's already very far in production. Because they made a comment about, like, something like, we're really happy with the direction of the game and their progress so far, or what we've seen so far, or something to that effect, implying that they basically have, like, something resembling a functional alpha. I mean, maybe they just have really, really good handwritten notes or something, and they're happy with that progress. I don't know, but it sounds like they're further than that. So the most important thing, I saved the most important for last. I cannot stress this enough. Cryptic Studios, give me an advanced copy of the game so I can stream it and put it on YouTube. I have been playing MMORPGs and been exceptionally good at them for, when was the internet invented? Right around then, basically. And even before then, I was playing like RTSs. Also, I'm kind of in the Magic the Gathering community, kind of into that a little bit, just a tiny little bit. So, you know, what do you guys think? Should they send me an early beta when it's available? You know, because they tend to do that. Well, actually, no, not literally Cryptic. They never do that, actually, come to think of it. But other companies that are really smart tend to do that. Like, they'll give, like, Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie, like, some kind of, you know, special beta access plus, like, a hand-holdy tour with, like, the freaking game programmer or something. Because, I mean, hello, duh. Get, like, 4 million views. Oh, yeah. But I will hype the crap out of that game for free. Unless it's terrible, then I'm going to rip it to pieces. Either way, guys, seriously, Cryptic, give me a damn beta code. Seriously, if there's like beta codes being handed out, you guys better spam the holy crap out of them on Twitter. Like, just like melt their Twitter computer. If they have a dedicated marketing computer for nothing but Twitter, that thing better burst into flames. I know it's kind of early to be saying that. I don't think they have a functional beta yet, but it's never too early to get my name on that list. The funny thing is, my name coincidentally happens to be on another list over at Wizards of the Coast, and they might share that list with Perfect World and Cryptic, and that wouldn't go so well, and they are never going to hear the end of it after that. Do the right thing, Cryptic. So what do you think? Are you guys super amped about this? Do you not care about MMORPGs? Have you never played one, but you might try this one because, hey, Wizards, or, well, God, hell no, Wizards, God, because, hey, Magic the Gathering, are you suddenly going to go check out Neverwinter? If you are, join my guild. Can't for the life of me remember what the name of it is. I don't remember what server I play on. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of Neverwinter if you've played it? And if they were to just reskin Neverwinter with MTG, which I doubt they'll do, would you play that? Honestly, I actually probably wouldn't long term. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what you guys think about all this craziness, and I will see you next video.